Okay, why don't we get started? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar on Nationwide Social Selling Platform. We have Jake Smith from Nationwide. Thank you so much, Jake, for joining us.
Sure.
Jake is a social media specialist with Nationwide. He's been with Nationwide for 4.5 years now, and he specializes in social selling. And he'll talk all about that in just a few minutes when we get started. Jake lives in Columbus, Ohio with his wife, his son, and his wonderful black lab named Scarlett. So thanks, Jake, again for joining us, and we'll get started.
Great. Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here. I'll get started here and just to, I guess, kick things off. I'm going to go through a few slides on social selling and some social media best practices, and then we'll dive into Nationwide Social Advantage. I'll do a demo of the platform, which is a content library of ready to share social media posts to your personal or business pages across 4 different social networks that you have the opportunity for. So it's a free tool, really excited about it. And we'll get started here momentarily, but Danielle, I think we had some polls to get to. Is that right?
Unfortunately, it looks like the polls are not available this session, but we are all set whenever you're ready.
Cool.
So you go ahead and start.
Will do. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen here, and we'll dive right in. All right. So, like I already mentioned, we'll go through some slides here. Lisa, thank you again for having me and Danielle setting this up, and really excited to be here and chat with y'all today. So let's get started. Talk about the contents of this deck here. Start with the value of social selling and LinkedIn's social selling index, which is more or less a tool that shows you how well you're using LinkedIn, but we'll get to that. And then some profile optimization and posting best practices. So to begin here, just a few key statistics to get you to understand the importance of having a complete social profile. 92% of advisors who use social media for business say it's helped them gain new clients, and you're 7 times less likely to be called if you don't have a complete social profile. Fun fact, LinkedIn has the highest search engine optimization of any social network. So if somebody were to Google search your name and you don't share your name with a movie star or professional athlete, your LinkedIn page is going to be the first thing that pops up. So very important to make sure your LinkedIn page looks sharp. You're putting your best foot forward there and presenting yourself in a positive light. And like I mentioned, we'll get into some profile optimization stuff in a little bit. But another stat there, 87% of prospects research advisors on social media before agreeing to a call or meeting. No surprise there. If you're like me, I research everything before going anywhere, a restaurant, vacation, whatever it may be. So no surprise there, but if you're being looked up, again, you want to have a complete social profile that's putting you in the best light. And finally, 1.4 million average asset gain in 1 year due to social media efforts. Here at Nationwide, our wholesalers have attributed over $100 million in sales due to social media efforts in the last 5 years. So social selling, it works. Our platform works here. LinkedIn actually recognized Nationwide Financial as the top social selling program in the industry. And so we want to share the insights, share what's working for us with our partners, and continue to be a best-in-class partner for our advisors. So what is social selling? I keep using this buzzword. Really, it's leveraging your social networks to find prospects, build relationships, of course, ultimately achieve sales goals, but the finding prospects and especially building relationships is the biggest aspect here. it's a consistent process. It's not a, make one post and you're done, or try and add a bunch of people all at once and then you're done. It's a consistent building relationships via social media approach. So very different from cold calling techniques of days past. I was in a sales role that was pretty much cold calls only before I started at Nationwide, and didn't see a lot of success there. Maybe I just wasn't cut out for that, but building relationships this way goes quite a long way into having a successful practice. In order to be successful with your social selling, you have to be doing a few things concurrently. So sharing relevant content, that's pretty straightforward and obvious, right? 2 to 3 times a week is best practice to maintain relevancy, and posting valuable content can position you as a thought leader and trusted resource to your network. Maintaining a strong digital brand. This is the profile, making sure it's all set up, looking sharp. We already talked about that. Interacting directly with potential buyers and customers. Another pretty straightforward one. Just engage with people on the platform. It is a social media platform, LinkedIn, whatever you're using, Facebook, Twitter. Go ahead. Don't be shy with your likes and your comments on other people's posts. It really goes a long way boosting your visibility. And if you are even a comment, you don't have to write a dissertation on somebody's post. A simple "hope you're doing well" does just as fine. And in some cases, making a comment on a post is just as good as making your own post. As you scroll through your LinkedIn feed, you'll notice, Lisa Mitchell commented on this post. And so you're increasing your visibility that way as well. So don't be shy, be pretty liberal with your likes and your comments as you scroll through your feed. And you'll notice a good bump in your success. Finally, active social listening. This is knowing what's trending, what's going on in the news that you may want to jump in on the conversation, but maybe also more importantly, what to stay away from, hot button issues, politics, anything that could be considered divisive to your network. Now, if you have a burner Twitter account, I guess I can't tell you what to do in that scenario, but if your page shows where you're working, what you do, definitely stay away from that kind of thing. Okay, we're going to take a little quick field trip here to LinkedIn's Social Selling Index. I'm going to put the link in the chat here, so momentarily I'll be able to do that. Okay, so everybody should be able to see this in the chat now. LinkedIn's Social Selling Index. So go ahead and pull that up, and I'll give you an opportunity to possibly get logged in to LinkedIn if it's been a while, or just to pull that up, click on the link in the chat that I posted. So to provide you all with some context here, LinkedIn's Social Selling Index gives you a score out of 100, letting you know how well you are using LinkedIn. The industry average is about a 35, and the target score that we're after here is a 60. So 60 out of 100. Think of it like that ridiculously difficult college course you may have taken that you got an A if you got a 65 or so. 60 out of 100 is what we're looking for. Anything below a 60, you're only reaching about 5 to 8% of your network when you post. You could have 2,000 connections, but if you have a low SSI score, it's not going to be seen by as many folks as you'd like. Once you hit the 60 mark, that threshold, LinkedIn recognizes you as a power user, more or less, and rewards you by pushing your posts higher up in feeds, increasing visibility, which is kind of the name of the game here. And it makes sense, right? Like LinkedIn, if you're using LinkedIn like they want you to, like you should, they reward you by increasing your increasing your visibility. Your posts are pushed up higher in feeds. Like I said, kind of the name of the game here. So there are 4 components of the score. You can click on these question marks on your own tab to get a little bit more detail, but it kind of comes down to what we just talked about on the previous screen. Establishing your professional brand is making sure that your profile setup looks good. Finding the right people is using LinkedIn's search and research tools, prospecting tools that I'll get into in a little bit. They're really helpful. LinkedIn's got a great search feature. Engaging with insights, again, liking, commenting on things that you see, especially like, Forbes, money.com, any of these third-party thought leader type pieces goes a long way. And then finally, building relationships is connecting with others, growing your network, and continuing to grow the conversation that way. So that's LinkedIn Social Selling Index. A little bit more on it, I will say. When I started on the social team, my score was at like a 26 or something like that. I was able to get it above that 60 mark in 6 to 8 weeks or so. It's really not a huge lift. It just goes back to being consistent, liking and commenting other people's things, growing your network, and sharing relevant content. It'll blow up pretty quickly if you stay consistent with that. I will say, if you look at your score right now and run over to LinkedIn and go and like 5 people's posts and comment on a few others and go right back and refresh your score, it's not going to update right away. Usually takes a couple of days, but stay consistent with it. Keep this URL handy because it really will show you how often it fluctuates and keeps you on top of making sure your LinkedIn game is strong. Okay, going to move on now to the professional brand. This is the profile, how it should look, how your profile should be designed. The 2 most important areas are going to be the top of the page and the about section. Reason being, these are the areas people are going to see when they click on your page. So we all know attention spans are low, right? So how do we find success in those first 10 to 15 seconds if people are checking us out? And the top of page and about section are what you're going to want to really focus on. So the top of the page, you want to have your headshot and a header image, place of employment, education history, and headline. The headshot can be business professional if you want it to be. Doesn't have to be. Strongly recommend something that is clear enough to see your face. Is very important there. Header image, it can be something business related. A lot of companies will have their own header images that you can put up there. I have the Columbus, Ohio skyline. Can make it really anything you want that talks about or shows off who you are. Could be a family picture, a picture of your pets, hiking trail, whatever it may be. But headshot and header image, very important to have at the top of the page. Place of employment, like I mentioned, education history, and headline. A lot of folks will put their job title here in the headline section. That's fine, as long as it makes sense and somebody, not an insider to the industry knows what it means. Like Lisa mentioned, my title is social media specialist. Extremely vague. I don't even know what that means, to be honest with you. But here's what I actually do on a day-to-day basis. Content creator, social selling instructor, social media strategist at Nationwide. So if your job title makes sense, a lot of folks have that there. That's cool. But feel free to be a little bit more specific there for your headline. Let's move down to the about section. A lot of folks will put their job description here. Again, not the place for that. That'll go in the experience section. The about really needs to be a few paragraphs about who you are as an individual. Of course, you want to talk about what you do for work and what your team does, but it's also extremely important to talk about who you are as an individual outside of work, what you like to do. This is where the building relationships come into play, okay? So you don't need to write an entire autobiography here, but a few paragraphs on who you are, what you're interested in inside and outside of work, what you do, what your team does for work, and what you like to do outside of work. So for example, mine says husband and father of one, 2 if you count my dog, love sports, love music, of course, who doesn't? And this is what I'm interested in marketing. Here's what my team does. Here's what I do. When not on the clock, you'll find me with my family, watching sports, playing music, or playing some pretty bad golf. Now, like I mentioned, this is where the building relationships come into play. Somebody clicks on my page, they don't know anything about me. Who's this Jake Smith character? You can tell from the top what I do. You read, 2 paragraphs of the about me, and you got a good idea about who I am and what I do. So that is the idea here. Really comes down to building relationships, and this is a great way to do it. One thing to note about the about section and your headline, your job description, all of this on your LinkedIn profile, these are keywords that can be found in the in LinkedIn search. Again, I'll talk a little bit about that here in a few minutes about LinkedIn search, but I was consulting with an advisor in New York a few months ago, I suppose, and what he was trying to grow his network, so he wanted to search for people in a certain area. So in LinkedIn search, you can search people by job title, by company name, by whatever it is. We went with geography. So we plugged in a specific zip code in the keyword golf. This guy's a big golf fan. So he searched anybody with golf in this specific zip code, and pulls up, a whole list of people that you can then go in and connect with and send a message introducing yourself. Don't send a cold sales pitch in your first connection request. But point being, if you have, like I have the word golf or football or music in here, if somebody's searching that on LinkedIn, my page will come up. So good way to expand your network a little bit there. Featured posts. This is an optional feature, no pun intended. You can pin posts to the top of your page. Maybe it's posts that have been really successful, or show a little bit more about who you are, and pin those to the top of the page here. And then your experience section, 3 bullet points per position. If you can go back 5 to 10 years or so, that's great with your job history. But this is where your job description goes. Don't put it in the about section. One other thing about the about section, please don't write it in third person. It should be first person. It should be it should sound like you're telling somebody about yourself. I wouldn't say, Jake works in marketing at Nationwide and in the social media department. So really make it personal. We're not all robot corporate stiffs as much as leaders may want us to be at sometimes. So it's really important to, again, cultivate the relationships that way by talking in first person. Finally, on the profile here, licenses, certifications. I'm sure many of you on the call have worked really hard for a lot of licenses, certifications in this line of work. So show them off, put them up there. You worked hard for them, and it adds credibility to your page when people look and see that. So this is what the ideal LinkedIn profile looks like. Lisa, if you want, I can provide this this deck after the call here, and you can send it out to the users if you think that might be.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Cool. All right. Pause here for just a moment. Take a drink of my water. I see actually there are 2 comments in the chat. Gonzalo's at 50. That's pretty good. That's above average, but go ahead and keep working, keep monitoring that score, because it really is pretty easy to raise it up, and it goes a long way in your visibility.
Thanks, Jake. We'll do that.
Good deal. All right, let's move on. Posting with a purpose. Be the same person online that you are in person. You don't have to try and be an influencer or anything. It's really important to be authentic and just be yourself and be, what you're comfortable with. This first bullet point here is probably the biggest thing to take away from this meeting. So if you don't take anything away, try and hold on to this. Building digital rapport by sharing those life events, fun activities, celebrating your local community as I have there. These are by far the most engaging posts on LinkedIn, and continue to build those relationships. This is so important because it puts a story and a person behind the job title, right? So this could be your daughter won the softball championship, or volunteered at the local food pantry, or feeling refreshed after a week vacation. Here's a photo of the beach. These posts receive far more interaction and engagement, which is a fancy word for likes and comments and shares on your posts. They receive far more engagement than any product specific piece or anything too narrowed down in your field. Now, those are still good posts to share. I'm not saying don't do that. What I am saying is include these posts, a photo of your hiking trail, like I mentioned earlier, and like whatever it may be. This shows that you're a person, provides a little bit of a backstory. People see it, far more likely to engage and comment or like the post. Quick success story on this topic. One of our wholesalers here at Nationwide went on vacation last year. She actually went on safari in Kenya, and I told her, you gotta share pictures of that. People are going to want to see that. So she shared a couple, 2 different posts with a good bit of photos on LinkedIn when she got back, and they blew up. It actually started a conversation with one of her advisors that she hadn't worked with in, really since pre-pandemic, hadn't been able to get a hold of each other. But she said, oh my gosh, it's my dream to go to Africa. You got to tell me all about it. Starts that conversation. They catch up, end up writing more business together. So after there's big success there, it's a conversation starter. It proves to others that you're just like them in a, human factor. I know LinkedIn's supposed to be this buttoned up world, but really it shouldn't be viewed like that. It's really important to share those events. So keep that in mind. Moving on here, we talked a little bit about this already. Publishing valuable content can position you as a thought leader, a trusted resource to your network. And 2 to 3 times a week is best practice to maintain relevancy. A couple of bonus tips here at the bottom. Here on our end, we see peak engagement Monday through Wednesday on social media, meaning Monday through Wednesday, people are getting more likes, more comments, more shares on their posts than other days of the week. Thursday and Friday, not too bad. There's really not a big, there's not a huge drop off, but those 3 days, Monday through Wednesday, are the highest. And then definitely avoid the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. There's just not a lot of people on the platform like they are during the week. So when you're scheduling your posts in advance, or simply wanting to share something, maybe you find an article on Saturday that you want to share, hang on to it until Monday. And then times as well. Before and after work hours are good times. People on their phone, or these 10 to 11, 2 to 3, pretty classic break times. You're going throughout the course of your day. You're like, I need 5 minutes. I need a break. You pull out your phone, right? Start scrolling, or maybe you pull up LinkedIn on your desktop, whatever it may be. So those are good times to share as well. And finally, including 2 to 3 hashtags per post can increase your reach. Limit it to 2 or 3 or so. Anything more than 5, like, just kind of comes off as spammy, doesn't look great. So I do recommend a couple, 2 or 3 or so, but you know, probably keep it to that limit. Here we go. Okay, here are a couple examples of the custom content that I was talking about. So here's me and my son. This first one, we just got back from vacation a week ago or so, a little over that. Felt good to get away. Came back with a higher gratitude of my position, ready to get back to it. I mentioned we went to Destin, and I got 2 or 3 comments like, "Oh, we were just in Destin, you know, 3 weeks ago," or whatever it may be. So conversation starter a little bit there. This one is a walk for pancreatic cancer. This is Jonathan Yoon. Lisa, you may know Jonathan, I'm not sure, but great photo here, going out and supporting a meaningful cause. And then here are 2 from our CEO, Kurt Walker, and our Chief Marketing Officer, Ramon Jones, doing some scarves. So the Columbus Crew is our local Major League Soccer team. And we had an initiative. We were helping with them, setting a world record for most scarves tied in a line, something along those lines. It was a mental health awareness campaign. And so a little bit of that. And Kurt also posted, timely stuff like Veterans Day. Here's a photo of his father. It can be holidays, anything like that. So these are just examples to share to your network. Like I mentioned, these really truly go a long way in building those relationships and building your own personal brand, because it's really important. Of course, the business, the company you work for is important, but this is how you build relationships and continue to grow your practice. Okay, last couple things here. Managing connections. When you're trying to grow your network, maybe you want to add more people on LinkedIn. Who do you network with at events? Who are second-degree connections, which is more or less mutual friends? Who do you do business with? Who's in your career path or part of your industry? This one is important. Customize your connection request with a personalized message. When you go and send a connection request on LinkedIn, you have the opportunity to send a note along with it. Strongly recommend doing that just to introduce yourself, maybe why you're looking to connect, something like trying to connect with more people in the industry, or trying to connect with others interested in golf, like my previous example. Like I said before, don't send a cold sales pitch here. It's going to get ignored pretty much every time. But I do recommend customizing that request with a personalized message. And then be mindful about your connection requests. You don't have to accept anybody and everybody. I know when I first created my LinkedIn, I was adding anybody I could, people with cool job titles in LA. Spoiler alert, didn't make it to Hollywood. It just muddies your feed if you have all of these connections that you're really not in the same circle with. So just be mindful about those. If you want to remove connections, you can do so. You go to My Network, manage your connections, and remove connections. If you want to more or less unfriend people, they won't be notified of that if you are concerned about that. But just a good way to clean up your feed a little bit if you're seeing some people that aren't really of interest to you. Okay, here's the LinkedIn prospecting and search tools area. 3 great ways to find people on LinkedIn. The people you may know section is probably the most popular. You can click My Network at the top of the page, and it'll show you all these people you may know from your company, from where you went to school, from groups you're in, and all sorts of different things. So you can find ways to add new people there. I did mention search earlier, where you can specify the area, the company, whatever it may be. You can really drill down and search for prospects in your area, people that are interested in whatever it may be. So strongly recommend checking out the search feature there. And then LinkedIn groups as well. You can join groups that are things that you're interested in, hobby-wise or industry-related. A great way to find more people and connect with others to grow your network. Final bonus tip, add your LinkedIn profile to your email signature. You're doing it already, emailing all these folks. So put your LinkedIn profile in there. You can just grab one of these images from Google and put it in your email signature. If you right click on the image, you can add a link and just paste your LinkedIn profile URL in that space. And when you send an email, it'll be in your email signature. People can just click on you from there and add you. Finally, you may have noticed on the homepage or my first slide here, LinkedIn offers QR codes as well. So if you pull your phone up now and check out this QR code, this is a personalized link to my page. So anybody can do this in the LinkedIn app. If you go into the LinkedIn app on your phone or tablet or whatever it may be, click into the search bar at the top, and there's this grid icon. If you select that icon, it pulls up your own personalized QR code. You can save it, you can email it to yourself, add it to presentations, add it to emails, whatever it may be. Just an additional way to get yourself out there and continue to connect and grow your LinkedIn. So with that, that's the end of my rambling, at least for part one here. I'll stop sharing for a minute and get the Nationwide Social Advantage tool pulled up. Appreciate, like I said.
Thank you, Jake. That was really informative, going over some of those, it was a great refresher. There's a lot of stuff in there that I completely forgot about, or, just don't focus on when, when I'm in LinkedIn. So thanks a lot for that. I appreciate it, especially the social listening. The social listening is a really important point to remember.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, glad it was helpful. Okay, so we talked about all the importance of that stuff, and now we're going to get into Nationwide's social selling tool that is free to use. It's open to any advisors. So I just put the link in the chat. It's nwsocial.sprinklr.com. And what this is, it's a content library for you to access, ready to share social media posts, and post them to your network. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to do a demo here and show you all what the tool looks like. Okay, so this is Nationwide Social Advantage. Simple login here. Once you go to this page for the first time, you'll click login and it'll prompt you connect with one of your social media accounts. So you're not going to have to create an email password for this. It's simply, none of us need another password to remember. So this is simply going to connect with an existing social media account of your choice, and then you're good from there. So I'm going to log in here with my LinkedIn. Type in my password. It gives you, are you sure you want to pair your account? You click allow, and then it works its magic and will log us into the home page. If you're registering for the first time, you'll have a few screener questions, name, email, firm, and what you're interested in. Nothing too crazy. And then the application, if you will, gets sent to me. I'll approve it, and then you will have access. So let me see here. I got a Q&A that says, I'm not seeing your chat. Please repeat the website address. Let me see. I just answered it. So hopefully that works for you. And I'll have Lisa pass this on to the attendees after the event too, just in case. But like I mentioned, this is Nationwide Social Advantage. It's a content library. These posts are ready to share to any social account of your choosing. So as you'll see over here on the accounts area, if you click add accounts, you can add a Twitter account, a LinkedIn personal or business page, an Instagram, or your Facebook account, your personal or business page. Facebook group is an option here, but we don't offer any content for those for that area as of now. So it's just personal and business pages on Facebook and LinkedIn, plus Instagram and Twitter. So this is the tool here. The home page is going to put you on this featured section. And all of these are white labeled thought leadership material. So these posts, if you click on one here in the text, these all link out to a third-party article. I don't want the image. So you can click on the article and read the article, see if you like the messaging and you decide you want to share it. We provide the caption, the post copy for you. So you have this, you have the link, you have the image, and you have the caption all provided for you. If you click on share, you can decide which social channel you want to post it to. So there's also this message here, please consider personalizing your content before sharing. If you want to just share right away or schedule, you can do so. But recommend clicking this pencil icon. This is the edit and schedule button. If you click on that, this gives you the opportunity. Maybe you don't like what I put in there, right? That's fine. You want to switch this up, make it a little more simpler. Maybe you want to add your phone number in the caption, whatever it may be. That is my cell. So feel free and blow me up if you want. And then you can share this now, and it will go directly to your LinkedIn and post on your LinkedIn right away, or schedule in advance. Love the schedule feature. A lot of our users will come in and find, 2, 3, 4 posts they like, schedule them out over the course of, 2 weeks or so. That way, you have stuff going out, that it's handled, right? You don't have to, if you want to come in and do it on a single basis, you're welcome to do that, of course, whatever works best for you. But a lot of folks will come in and schedule some in advance. And that's when it's important to remember the Monday through Wednesday trick. Thursday and Friday, not bad. I wouldn't say avoid them, but I would avoid Saturdays and Sundays. So maybe I want this to go out tomorrow morning, let's say between 10 and 11, 10:15 a.m. How about we'll schedule this for tomorrow. And you click on schedule there and it's done. So that is going out on my LinkedIn page. If I wanted to share it to my Facebook business page, I could do so as well, or my Facebook personal page. I don't have my LinkedIn company page or my Twitter or Instagram linked, but you can do that as well. And then you're done. So there's a couple of things down here. You can click the bookmark icon if you want to come back to it later. But that brings me to the drop-down menu. So all of these featured posts you see, these are going to be more timely pieces, or things that are, I think, will be of higher interest. So we also have in this drop-down menu, if you click on this little arrow, there are 5 individual tabs that are specifically focused on different financial topics, including retirement, just a broad financial topics category, healthcare, life insurance and long-term care, and family and money management. So you can go into any one of these and see different posts that are available. Not all of these are going to be in the featured section. That's why we have them broken down into different categories here, and you can go through and see, best money moves to make this summer, how much house can I afford, go into the life insurance category. We've had a lot of success with the life insurance content. And so you can come through this and just scroll through, see what you like, what imagery you like, and then go ahead and select to share that. So pretty straightforward, easy to use. Like I mentioned, you click on share and can do that. The other options down here in this drop-down menu, trending is going to show you what has been shared the most of late. And bookmarks, like I mentioned, is going to show you what you've saved in that by clicking this bookmark icon. So that's really it for the content itself. I'll show you just a couple other features. It's really, there's not a ton of, I don't want to overwhelm the users here with so many features. So really all we have is the content itself. There's an analytics tab that will show you how well your posts have performed. And then there's a planner. This is your calendar. This keeps you organized. This will show you what has gone out, what is scheduled to go out. So here's my message that I scheduled for tomorrow. And I can come in here. Maybe I don't want it to go out anymore. I can delete it, or I can come through and edit, change the caption, change whatever, and reschedule. Maybe I want to do this next week instead, and go ahead and save it there, and it'll reschedule and show you, okay, now it's going out on Monday. So that's really the tool in its entirety. It's the content library, it's the planner and the analytics to show you how well you've done. Finally, there's this link to Nationwide's Advisor Advocate blog. This is our blog designed for advisors to come in and find timely economic insights. There's quite a lot of stuff on here. Really good stuff that you can find and share on your own as well if desired. So this is the tool in its entirety. Like I mentioned, it's free to use, and sharing this relevant content can position you as that thought leader and trusted resource that we've been talking about. So definitely recommend giving it a try and using it to supplement your social media content. Still make sure to post about those significant exciting trips or family successes or whatever it may be. But when it comes to thought leadership material, this is a great resource for you to add to your repertoire. So
thanks, Jake. So you mentioned that the first section, none of that is branded Nationwide.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's all just, sort of, generic, or not generic, but
yeah, and the idea there, so all of the content in that library is white labeled thought leadership material. So it's not Nationwide branded. Really, we just want to provide our advisors and our partners with the resource to have success with their social selling practice. Now, we have that Nationwide Advisor Advocate blog that you can find articles there and share those through LinkedIn on your own. But we're not, the goal here from our perspective at Nationwide, we're not trying to push Nationwide products necessarily, which is why we don't have any of that content branded as, look what Nationwide's done. We're just trying to continue to be that best in class partner and provide the users with timely, relevant. I love the illustrations. I think they look great, and we've seen some pretty good engagement.
Hey, Jake, this is Gonzalo. There was a question in the Q&A box. How do we get this to compliance? So that's always a great question. I knew you guys have an answer to that.
Yeah, I do. Great question, Mitchell. I was just about to get to that as I saw that. Outstanding. So one of the, let me go ahead and share again real quick. first things first, all of these posts are already pre-approved through compliance on Nationwide's end. So they are pre-approved through our compliance department. Make sure we're not saying anything silly or anything that could get us in trouble. So we have approved it with our own compliance department. And then another aspect is these terms and conditions. When you sign up, you have to agree to these terms and conditions. It basically says, when using this platform, you're required to uphold your own firm's social media policies and guidelines. So if your firm doesn't want you posting specifically about, I don't know, annuities or something, then that's on you to not share that from here. But all of the things in this content library, every single post, all the captions, all the imagery, everything has been pre-approved through Nationwide's compliance department to make sure, we're not violating any FINRA laws or anything like that that could potentially get us into some hot water. So that's a great question.
So Jake and Mitch and anybody else, for anybody else's benefit, if you subscribe to this platform, then you need to kind of run either the platform or the usage of the platform by your broker dealers compliance people. Jake, I would imagine that sending either a link or something to the platform where the content is being hosted and pushed out would be something that the broker dealers could review. Or they may already be familiar with the platform and say, yeah, we've looked at it and there's, it's been blessed by Nationwide's compliance people and we're good with it, kind of thing. Is that kind of the way you would approach it?
Yeah, I'd say that's accurate. Really, it boils down to whatever the individual firms and BDs are comfortable with.
Yeah.
I mentioned this to Lisa recently, but it might have been, I've been road showing this a lot, so it could have been another time. But this content library, it's not designed. Some folks already have social selling libraries like this, like individual firms may have something like this. This is not designed to replace anything. Really, it's just supposed to be a value add. And if an individual firm has specific guidelines or thoughts about it, that's totally up to them and all good with us.
Mitch, is that helpful? I think you guys may be on mute. Okay. Thank you, Jake. Any other questions?
I think that's all so
I'm
far.
allowing everyone to talk right now if they'd like to, if any of the attendees would like to weigh in. I've allowed everyone to comment or to talk if they want. You're unmuted now. If anybody wants to say anything.
Officially say thanks.
Thanks, Mitch. I'll provide, like I mentioned earlier, I'll provide Lisa with the website link again, the PowerPoint deck I went over, and my contact information. So this is my program, so feel free to reach out to me directly, connect with me on LinkedIn, shoot me an email if you have a question or just want to run something by me, and happy to help anytime.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. We figured out the polls, so if you attendees can hang on for one more minute, we're going to try to launch these polls. Here we go. So if you all can take a minute to answer, that would be really great. Can everyone see the polls?
Yes.
About 75% of folks.
Yep. I guess it's probably enough opportunity for everyone. Okay, let's see what we got. Sharing the results.
You got a new poll question up, Lise?
Sorry. Guess we have a ways to go to make this work. 100%, 2 out of 2. Can you see this, Danielle?
Yep, the second question is now up. I'll leave it up there for 5 more seconds.
Looks like LinkedIn is the big winner.
Yep.
Awesome.
That's what I like to hear, considering I focused a lot on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So there are results. Yep, LinkedIn is the big winner. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. On to our next question. We have 2 more. Question number 3 is up.
Bet I know what the answer is.
All right, maybe 10 more seconds. Yep, once again, LinkedIn is the big winner, it seems. Share those results. Awesome. All right, and to our last question here. Oh, let's see. Oh, oh, looks like it's not popping up, unfortunately.
Or won't come up?
Yeah, it looks like question 4 isn't working out.
Okay, well, I think we get the picture.
Exactly.
All right, well, thank you so much, Jake. We really appreciate it. It was very informative.
Great, my pleasure.
All right, if nobody has any more questions, we'll say, we'll sign off. And before we sign off, just to let you know, this has been recorded, so we'll share it. And I'll also share the site, the social selling site from Nationwide with everyone, if you don't already have it. So if nobody else has any questions, Gonzalo, if you don't have any more comments, Lisa? Or Daniel, sorry.
Lisa, this is David Miller. How are you today?
Hi, David.
Hey, good. I have a question for the whole team, including Jake and you guys. A lot of us on the call today own our own small business, and some of us have several employees. Some of us only have a few employees. Jake, in your experience, when you see high-end agents like ourselves who are using these platforms, I use LinkedIn, but I'm mostly a voyeur, and I see what's going on. I read other items. I don't typically comment that often on there, but I would like to engage more. Are you finding that most people are just hit or missing on this? Are they engaging social media companies to assist them? Are they using interns? Do they have a staff do they have a person on staff? How are you seeing deployment of this for people specific in our industry, especially for people who are, let's just say, over 40? So give us general demographics. Well over 40.
Over 70, over 80.
Mitch, I'm trying my best to make you look good. Stop talking.
Yeah, David, great question. A lot of the folks we work with do have sort of a key admin person, whether that be somebody in marketing or somebody that feels comfortable with this, that can post on the business page's behalf, or have access to a few of the higher level leaders' accounts and can post on their behalf. Like one of the I was just working with somebody who has about 5 or 6 people she wants to post on their behalf through this tool, and that is doable. They'll have to have their own individual accounts. Like for my example, when I was sharing to my LinkedIn page, if I want to add another personal LinkedIn page, it has to be another application, another individual's account. But if I'm the admin of a business page, for example, Nationwide Financials that I had up there, and another one, I can be the admin of several business pages. In your case, kind of depends on, you know, what you and your business is comfortable with. If you have somebody that that does post on social, you know, that'd probably be a good place to start with this, or just encouraging a couple of folks to give it a try. And you know, if you're not super active on LinkedIn already, feel free and start kind of small and just go through and like and comment on some things first before sharing, if you want to just get a better feel for the platform. But in terms of, you know, posting on others' behalf, that is an option that that you can do with this tool. Is that helpful?
And I would bring that question out, if there are any other advisors on this call, how have they engaged in their social media, let's call it LinkedIn, to communicate their intellectual capital and knowledge to either attorneys, accountants, estate planners, to clients, and have they been successful in being a thought leader, and it has that actually developed business relationships?
Anybody want to weigh in on that? Can anyone weigh in on it?
I think we're all in the same boat. A lot of people want to do this and probably are not adept at it. And I think I'm fishing to see what process do I need to engage this so it's successful, so you don't publicly fall on your face trying to do something for to achieve the goal you want, having it possibly not be as successful as you want. But that's a question for another day if we need.
I mean, I was going to say that I think you just need to start slowly. You just need to dip your toe in and start slowly and start conservatively and just be unafraid. That's the most important thing. And, you know, knowing you like I do, Mr. Miller, you're a very diplomatic person. You're very smart. You're very knowledgeable in your business.
Hold it. There are other people on this call that could disagree with those.
Oh. And Mr. Ostrom, I was going to say the same about you and Mo and you know, Riggs and all of you, and Anne and you and Bob and all of you on the phone. I think that you just need to spend a certain amount of time watching and social listening, as Jake mentioned, and dip your toe in. And, you know, like he said, you know, even if it's just once a day and you want to do something other than just like somebody's post, as Jake said, it doesn't have to be an earth shattering comment. Just say, hey, I agree with what you said, or, hey, that's a really good point. I just read an article the other day that, you know, that made this point. Just it doesn't have to be hard, and don't make it harder than it needs to be. Just start doing it.
Just do it.
And then just keep swimming.
Yeah, Lisa, this is Anne. I appreciate your comment, David, because we too are sitting here thinking, how do we incorporate this with the small business that we are? And I'm watching this because, you know, Bob's out on the road. So how often are we going to log in, or how often are we going to manage the account on LinkedIn? That's the big question. So I appreciate your question, and we have been entertaining the idea of hiring someone, but how do you do that and maintain the integrity of your message? As you pointed out, Lisa, we each have our own style. We each have our own approach to this. And that is so important in getting your message out there and maintaining that consistency to your other advisors, your clients, if they'll be there. And so, yeah, I don't know that we've come up with an answer. I was hoping someone on the call would come up with that answer for us.
Yeah, I think everybody is going to discover it for themselves, and you're just not going to know until you start.
I think
and it will it'll evolve over time. But it's really nice to have this option with the nationwide social selling to at least not have to worry about, you know, going out and finding content that you want to post.
Absolutely. Jake, this is a great tool, and it certainly does allow us to do something with ease. And I do appreciate your presentation. It's been great. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, my pleasure. Feel free. And if you can find me on LinkedIn, having a name like Jake Smith, I'm one of many. But
are you kidding? We all have your cell phone number now.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, shoot me a text. This was recorded, so.
Yeah. Well, I want to be mindful of time because we're after the top of the hour now. Thank you so much, Jake. If there's anybody else out there that has any, questions, you can reach out to me. If you feel like you need to, take a deeper dive on this, maybe we can get the help of, excuse me, of Jake again. But in the meantime, it has been recorded, and it will probably be useful to listen again if you want, because I know that everybody has the possibility of mind wandering if an email comes in or a phone rings or something like that. So I will send the recording to everyone. I'll send again the social selling site to everyone, and let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye now.
See ya.
Have a great day.